Welcome to this presentation for the IRCAM-Forum 2021 called OM-Chant as a filtering tool. Today we are going to talk about filtering in OM-Chant. The Open Music Library OM-Chant provides a high-quality filter that makes possible a very accurate manipulation of our previously recorded sounds. This aspect of the library may seem secondary in comparison with the varied processes of synthesis, but it is actually a wide working path to explore. In this presentation, we are going to see three different kinds of patches that represent three ways to apply the filter of OM-Chant. After that, we're going to listen to a musical example where all the sounds are the result of the filtering processes that we are going to show you. We are going to start by this patch where the recorded sounds are filtered by breakpoint functions representing different transitions between formats. Let's take a look inside. At the top, we see the default formats of OM-Chant, and inside the first loop, 5 extra formats are added to the 5 basic ones. You will later be able to pause the video to check the process out, but for time reasons we have to go on now. As you may already know, formats are defined by 3 parameters: frequency, amplitude, and bandwidth. We are getting each different value, each different parameter separately, and constructing a BPF library for each one in here, where we can graphically observe the development of format structures from the vowel A of A soprano to the U of a bass, through all the vowels of an alto, a countertenor, and a tenor as well. In this graphic, it is easy to observe, for example, the prominent change between female and male formats. These graphics are going to be used to define filters together with the duration of the chosen sound. Like here, we can appreciate that. Finally, the sound is going to be filtered, it's going to be synthesized and given a name. At the end of the process, we can select which format development is applied to the sound from the 10 that we have in the graphics. Let's listen first to the original sound and then to the different results of the lowest and the highest format developments. That was the original sound. Let's hear now the filtered sound. We have just listened now to this line of the graphic. Let's listen now to the highest one. We choose the highest one, synthesize, and listen to it. So there are two different versions of this patch. This first one is exactly the same but reversing the order of the formants, thus placing first the male formants and then the female ones. Let's listen to this resonance. And now let's listen to it, but filtered. To finish with this first procedure, the last version presents a random disposition of formats, as you can graphically see in the BPFs, and here we can choose the number of formantic dispositions. Now we are going to take a look to the second process. In this second procedure, we're going to see how to filter the recorded sounds not only by one formant, but by all the formants defined by a vowel. And then we're going to establish transitions between those vowels. At the top, we have prepared the vowels corresponding to the soprano and to the alto, from the soprano A to the soprano U, and from the alto A to the alto U, and then we have listed. This wheel of vowels is repeated a number of times that we can control by dividing the duration of the sound by a chosen divisor. The filter is prepared according to the duration of the sound and according to the number of repetitions of the wheel of formants that we have selected, always keeping a proportion with the total duration. Finally, the sound is filtered, and this is the result using 9 as a chosen divisor. If we use 9, the wheel will be repeated only once. Let's listen to it. First, the original sound. And now, filtered. We can change the number of repetitions of the wheel. For example, if we use the number 3 as a divisor, we will obtain 4 wheels of formants, each wheel going from the A to the U, first for the soprano formants and then for the alto ones, giving a global of 8 transitions from the A to the U. Let's check it out. A curious effect that we can obtain by accelerating this kind of filtered vocalization is the conversion of the original sound in a water-alike one. Let's use, for example, 0.5 as a divisor. We will have 21 wheels. Let's synthesize it. And let's listen to it. In our last patch, we're going to use the filter of OM-Chant as a sort of microscope to highlight the chosen frequencies of the recorded sounds. At the top, this time, we are going to have this library of graphics that can be used to control the aim of the filter during the development of the sound. But for the moment, we will use this simple line. The loop where the filters are created has 5 different parameters: the original sound, the pitch that we are going to filter, his amount of partials, his bandwidth, and a graphic to change the evolution of the pitch in time. We open very briefly the content of the loop, just in case somebody would like to pause the video later. Let's see how the original sound reacts to different parameters. For example, the number of partials. Let's first listen to the original sound. And now filtered by this A with only this bandwidth and only one partial. We are going to change the number of partials. For example, let's use 5. Let's perceive the slightly variations that are going to appear. And finally, let's use a contundent 100. Now let's listen to the changes that appear if we use another bandwidth. Finally, a last sound resulting from filtering by the second lowest graphic from this library of VPFs. Let's connect it. We're going to use this second one. And then let's synthesize it. It may take some seconds. There we go. Okay, that was the last patch that we are going to talk about today. And the last minutes of this presentation are going to consist of the audition of this short electronic piece, this electronic collage with sounds obtained using the previous patches. It is important to note that all the sounds that we have used in this presentation, and we have used, of course, for this collage, are originally recordings from different ways of playing the lowest note of the piano, either mute, pizzicato, or ordinario. Let's listen to it. Enjoy. This was my presentation. I kindly encourage you to use the OM library, the OM-Chant library, and to check the filter out. Thank you very much for your attention.